Hi, this is Larry, KF5MLP. Today I'd like to go over some settings for WSJTX. Now I'm running the version 2.7.0 RC6, but the settings are basically the same. So you want to go to File and come down to Settings. Now in the settings, we'll bring that over here so you can see it. You've got General, so you put your call sign and your grid square in there, and then the display, I've got start a new period decodes at top, and then you can see what I have here listed. For behavior, I've got double click on the calls to enable the transmit, so I just don't click on it once and it starts accidentally transmitting. I try to get it to I got to double click it. Okay, calling CQ forces the call to be first and allow transmit frequency to change while transmitting. So those are what I have for my general. Now your radio is real important. You want to make sure that where it says rig, you pick what rig you have. Mine's set up for the 7610, but you can see here all the rigs that they have, and I'm just going to kind of scroll through it real quick so you can kind of see what they've got. What you're going to do is scroll through this, pick your radio out, and then you're going to highlight it or click on it and make it your rig. See, there's 7610, so we'll click on that, but we'll just go on down through the rest of this real quick so you can see them. There's a bunch of them in here. I would venture to say that most of them are in this list. I have sold my Kenwoods, I have ICOMs and Wsjts now, so I can come down a little bit further and I'll see Wsjt. I'll probably see there's Uniden. I'll probably see a 991A because that's what my other radio is. And we come down here just a little bit. There's 17, 18, 857, 897, 97D, 991. Right there would be the old one right there, 991. And that will also take care of the 911 or 991A. So there's a bunch of them that you have. Okay. The polling interval, I have 1 second. I want this to poll it real quick. You need to find your COM port. Okay, mine's set up here on 11. How do I find that? Well, come down to your Windows square, right click on it. It will bring up this list and click on Device Manager. Device Manager will open and you can come down to COM ports. Now I know mine is 7 for this radio. I'm sorry, 11. So there's 11, and the way you can tell, one way you can tell is unplug the cable from the radio and you'll see it go away, leaving this open. A good thing to do is maybe make a screenshot of your COM ports and then unplug it and then compare the two and see which one disappeared. That would be your COM port. That's one way of doing it. You want to set your comms, your baud rate for the same baud rate that you have in the radio. You also want to make sure that your baud rate matches your radio, and you want to make sure it matches in properties, up to settings, and you want to make sure it matches here. So you want to make sure it's set here, it's set here, and it's also set the same in your radio. Know that what you have, 8 data bits, 1 stop byte is for mine, and I have none. I don't set everything to default. I set this up. You may have to use DTR forced control, which would be either high or low. Mine are off. I've got it set here for cat, but the main thing is mode is USB and I'm using split operation, which is the rig. I have 2 tuners in this rig, so I can use both of them. I can test the cat, and it's green. I can test the PTT, look at my radio when it's transmitting. And now I want to go over to audio. I want to pick out my audio. This is the microphone that I'm using at this time. There's a 991A, the 710, the 7100. Okay, and I know there's another radio, 991. Yeah, my 710 isn't on here, but I'm going to have to find that. I bet you a quarter this is my 710. I've got to trace it. One way you can trace it is by bringing up, I'll bring it up in another video because it's kind of hard to talk about and explain it. So you bring up that one, and you bring up your output, which will be your output. Then you go to your transmit macros, and this is the macro that's in there. I don't mess with that. Reporting, I want it to prompt me to log a QSO, and there is my call sign, the operator's call sign. DB reports and comments, and DX clear call and grid after logging. Enable PS key reporter spotting, and I use the TCP IP connection. All 3 of these have to be checked, and this one if you're going to be logging to another program. I'm logging to an external program, so I've got 224.0.0.1, which is an internal server on the computer, and then the server port number is 2237, and this is loopback 0 and multi-calls 1, and then here it is to log, which is another internal server, which is 127.0.0.1, and I'm using the server port 2333. All right, now the frequencies are all in here, the colors are in here, and I check the ones that I want to use, and then advanced. These are some of the settings that I have. Now this has the Super Hound in it and the Super Fox. If you click this, now you're in the Hound mode and Super Fox mode. They have the key. You can't put a key in here. All this stuff is kind of grayed out. You can't do anything with it. You can also change that during the program in here. Now that you've got this all set up, click OK. And here's where you can go to Hound, Super Hound. Now I'm in Super Hound mode, and here I'm now in FT8. Okay, that's basically it for the setting up WJTX. And I appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, subscribe. This is Larry, KF5 MLP.